In today's video, we're going to show you how to pick up a large, a medium, and a small size acrylic pearl. The first step is
getting the proper amount of liquid in your brush, correct, Tracy?
Correct.
the first step in getting the right amount of liquid, pressing down at the bottom of the dish like this to get all those air bubbles out.
Are you doing that every time?
I do. Every time
You
I
do.
put it in the
Every time you
dish.
put it in the dish, you're pressing it down? Oh. And then when I pick my brush up, I want to pick it straight up like that. Some people, though, when they pick it up, they maybe pick it up like that and wipe the liquid out.
Yeah, so there's hardly anything in your brush now.
Now that I've pressed the bubbles out, picked my brush straight up, it's now about controlling the amount of liquid inside my brush.
Correct. What size pearl are you going for? We're not going to push on the tip of the brush, because that's where we want to push the liquid to. We don't want to remove liquid from the tip, right? So we push more towards the back, a little more than halfway up the brush, towards the back of the brush.
So not here,
Correct.
here.
And see what that does? It forces whatever liquid's in that brush to the tip. What size of a pearl we are going to pick up is how much pressure we put behind that.
So if I want to pick up a large pearl, I might just tap. If I want a small pearl, I might little bit more pressure.
Yep, you can put more pressure behind it, or maybe you tap twice,
Perfect.
however you want to do it. Let's start with a large pearl and go medium and then go small.
One thing to notice is that you're going to tap on one side and you're going to use the other side of the brush to pick up the powder. That's because when you pressed here, it pushed the liquid here. Also, don't come in steep in a circular motion and don't come in too flat either. Enter at a 45-degree angle instead. So I entered at a 45-degree angle, bounced, turned the pearl over, and you can see it's on one side of the brush. After doing a few nails, I'm noticing a problem. When I go in to pick up the powder and I turn the brush over, you can see that the acrylic is way too far up the brush. This is gonna make it difficult to release from the nail when I set it down.
Why am I getting it so far up the brush? I feel like I can't help that.
If you watch yourself, you are going on the tip right here, and then you do this
At the end.
at the very last.
I feel like I want to.
last one. You're trying to put more pressure.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do that. You can just put
Show
the
me.
pressure right at the tip still. 2, 3, pressure,
But you did like, oh, yours is way more circular.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, look at that.
A little dry, but I'm first pearl. That last one, you're wanting to
Don't
put more
angle.
pressure where you don't need it. You just need to put the pressure on that tip and just push down.
So barely tap. So keep that weight on the tip, right?
Yep. Yeah.
So a little bit more. Oh yeah, look at that.
Yep.
Ooh,
And but
it's-
see how you had so much liquid that it was pretty runny. So you had more liquid to pick up a larger pearl.
That's
Ah.
crazy. Did you see how the pearl was running?
Yes.
It was super wet.
Yes.
Because it was more directed on, because I had the acrylic directed more on the tip. Oh my God. Okay, let me try it again.
Okay.
So this was huge for me. Bouncing more in that angle instead of flattening out at the last second helped tremendously. The pearls were way more creamy, they were more ball-like, less oval. Understanding this concept was so big.
So I think you have the large.
Yeah.
Let's go a notch down.
Medium.
Yep.
So for medium, I want to press a little bit more.
Correct.
Right? Look at that. God, it feels so creamy coming off. Like,
At this point, I was super excited because I felt like I had the rhythm down. A little bit more of that pressure and a little bit less bounce is getting me this nice, creamy, medium-sized pearl. The main thing I was looking for at this point was consistency in pearl size. I wanted to make sure that I was able to get that medium-sized pearl over and over again. And as you can see, as long as I had the right pressure and the right bounce, I was able to get that same size medium pearl every time.
Okay. Small.
small.
So small, either more pressure behind it or you bump it twice.
So I bumped it twice here, and I gave a little bit less pressure here, less bounce, and boom, small size pearl. This was even more exciting for me because I really felt like as long as I had that pressure and bounce down, I could pick up any size pearl I wanted. And as you can see, I'm getting a nice, consistent, small size pearl. I was super stoked about this.
Damn, this is like crazy. I like the double bump.
You got it. And then you get, and now, without having to go any further, you also have the idea of, I need to pick up a tiny pearl. What do you have to do?
Yeah, double bump, and then just like slight pressure, 1, 2, 3, pick it up.
The smaller we want, the more pressure we put behind the bumps,
Yeah,
and less
pressure
pressure
when you pick